these attacks towards Cornel West. Oh, it's dividing Democratic socialists. Or Cornel West needs to run as a Democrat. Cornel West needs to join the Democrats right now. Why? Why is it causing all these divisions? Because here's the thing. He's showing just how inherently weak and the Democrats are. The Democrats have already admitted that they're a private institution. So let's say Cornel West did run as a Democrat. Well, as a private institution, the Democratic Party has already said there will be no debates. As a private institution, the Democratic Party can pick who they want as their nominee. As a private institution, they have superdelegates. As a private institution, they could rig the machines. They could close down polling stations, kick people off the roster, lack of paper ballots, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. I mean, shout out to Nico House and the Convo Couch because they have the receipts from the 2020 election cycle as well as what happened in 2016. So all this talk of Cornel West needs to be smart. He needs to stop being stupid. No, he's ahead of the game. He is smart because he saw what happened to Bernie in 2016 and 2020. And if anyone has functioning brain cells, they know don't run in a Democratic primary. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and look all of you in the eye and say, Marianne Williamson has a chance because she's got enough steam in her engine, like the Vanguard says she could do it, or RFK Jr. can do it too. Look, I wish them all the best, but at the end of the day, the game is rigged. It's rigged. So why am I going to participate or lie to people, say, this time around, we're going to do it. This time around, we're going to change it. No, you can't. You can't change the Democratic Party. You have a better chance fixing the Republican Party than the Democratic Party. And I'm being generous as that because, again, both parties are corrupt, but the Republicans don't have superdelegates. Republicans don't have it as insane in their primary as the Democrats do. They're getting there. They will get there. But that's how stupid it is to go ahead and run in the Democratic Party. So Democratic Socialists, I remember interviewing you, Jagoffs, at UIC way back in 2018 when DSA was all there, or any other events at McCormick Place. You guys talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. There's no freaking action. It's talk about theory. It's talk about this. And I get about talking about theory, but now's the time for goddamn action. It's my rant. It's my rant, man.
No worries. All right. So title Cornel West's candidacy divides Democratic Socialists. And that is the headline that I screenshot. And let me read you the snippet that I posted with the screenshot. It says, quote, while DSA has not yet made an endorsement in the race, the tension between, get what the comparison is, and let me zoom in here and make this a little bit bigger for those seeing impaired, which is myself. Lofty idealism, that's the camp that we're a part of, Kit, versus pragmatic politicking could once again be laid bare ahead of the 2024 cycle between supporters of West and those willing to, and get how they describe this, accept the imperfect vessel of a Biden second term. That's how they describe this nonsense. And unless you wanted to comment, we can get right to the
let's get right to it. Yeah, my brain hurt from that statement right there, so I'm just
it's pretty ridiculous. But here's the article here. It's wrten by Nick Rentals, and let's begin the article. Presidential candidate, let me close this video. Presidential candidate Cornel West and the Democratic Socialists of America, the leftist organization likely most responsible for the Democratic Party's lurch to the left over the past decade, has a long history of one another. So that sentence right there already tells me the point of view of Newsweek. If I didn't know who Newsweek was, which is a conservative sort of outlet, that tells me, what are they talking about? The Democratic Socialists are responsible for the Democratic Party lurch to the left. What lurch to the left are they talking about? The increase in funding to ICE, to the police state, the march towards nuclear war with Russia, China. Take your pick. Is that a march left, or is that walking the plank? That's more like walking the plank.
You know what I compare that to? during the 2022 midterm election cycle, there was a Republican governor. I already forgot his name, but he had the audacity to call J.B. Pritzker a communist and a socialist and a Marxist. And for those who don't know, the Pritzkers are a very rich and wealthy family. This is what a lot of conservatives want to hold on to. Oh, they're moving left, or they're socialists, or communists. Like, open up at the source and find other different words, okay? And this whole idea of DSA moving the Democratic Party to the left, guys, I understand maybe you have to do a quota for your article, conservatives or Republican writers or anything else like that, but no, DSA is not pushing the Democratic Party to the left. They're not doing that. They're not doing what you're saying that they're doing, and I just wish people would stop saying that, because DSA is all in bed with the Democratic Party and its corporatist neoliberal message.
Absolutely. All right, so let's continue with the article. An honorary chair of DSA, West, an honorary chair of DSA, West was an enthusiastic supporter of DSA-backed presidential candidate Bernie Sanders in 2016 election, and since has remained a pious adherent to the platform he ran on. After declaring his intent to run for president on the People's Party ticket earlier this year, some mused he should have mounted a run within the Democratic Party as an affiliate of DSA. Noting his ideological ties to the platform, they and candidates like AOC and Jamal Bowman have used to reshape Democrats' presence on Capitol Hill. Now, of course, this article is just giving DSA and these clowns, AOC and Jamal Bowman, credit that they don't deserve, and it's just a fantasy. But it's something they have to build up to explain their right wing sort of. This is how right wingers have to talk, as if every leftist, even the milquetoast leftists, are far left Marx Leninists when they're not. That's just the disposition. But let's continue. However deep the ties between them, some members of DSA have begun to make it clear that their support of West's candidacy is by no means guaranteed. Clowns.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so let's continue.
I think that's it.
Wait.
Sorry.
Was that it? No, wait. Guaranteed. Let me see how this goes. Let me see. In a recent series of dueling columns, no, this is it. In a recent series of dueling columns, DSA Marxist Caucus magazine, Reform and Revolution, two members of the caucus outlined a burgeoning battle between DSA. Should the DSA support West, the candidate most aligned with their values, some believe, could play spoiler in 2024, or back the more pragmatic choice in the incumbent president, Joe Biden, a relative. You see how they call him? This fool is a right winger, and they're calling him a relative moderate with significant more viability in a general election against a prospective Republican challenger from Donald Trump or Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Just the framing of this article is way off, because they're saying, I mean, you can tell in their description. Look at their description of when they talk about West right here. The candidate most aligned with their values, some believe could play spoiler. Why would they put that in there as his description? But listen to Joe Biden's description here. A relative moderate and significantly more viable in a general election against. Why are they saying all this stuff as a description? These are descriptions they're inserting in order to sway their reader. But I digress. I can't see you. Were you about to chime in?
Well, again, one thing that annoys me is, again, this whole thing of spoiler. Look, a vote for Dr. Cornel West as the Green Party is a vote for the Green Party. A vote for the Libertarian is a vote for Libertarian. A vote for Republicans, vote for Republican. A vote for Democrats, vote for Democrat. Dr. Cornel West, or whoever the Libertarian Party candidate, whoever they will be, an independent, they are not a spoiler. Okay, a spoiler would be one of them who took the electoral college vote or took a key electoral
Right.
college votes. Okay, so this whole idea of him running and being a spoiler, well, you know what? It's not my fault that the Democrats are losing their voting base. It's not my fault that people are no longer inspired by the Democrats, and all what they got to do is hurl words and insults saying, "Oh, you're spoiler, you're spoiler, you're a spoiler." What does that matter? Why should I care that you're calling me a spoiler when I know for a fact that your party doesn't represent my values? So I will go to a party or a candidate that will represent my values. And this whole idea of this person is going to disrupt it for our candidate. Well, maybe you shouldn't have such a weak candidate in the first place. Maybe you shouldn't have somebody who's so inherently corrupt that it sickens somebody to even want to cast a vote for them. So this whole idea of spoiler, I hope the whole audience educates yourselves about how to combat the vote blue no matter who propaganda, because it's coming out in mass. And don't let these people bully you. Don't let them browbeat you. You push right the hell goddamn back. And you know what? Live rent free. Here's what I'm going to do to live rent free in these vote blue no matter people's heads. I'm actually going to take a picture of myself, selfie, and say, voted for Dr. West. I'm rent free in your head. There. That's what I'm going to do. Because you know what? At this point, I want to be their bad guy. I want to live rent free in those people's heads, because why should I respect them if they're not going to respect me?
Perfect point. I can't argue with that. And let's continue with the article. And okay, here's the tab. It's not exactly a new fight for DSA. While Sanders did ultimately endorse Biden in 2020, in the 2020 election, the organization's support was tepid, resolving at its 2019 convention that it would not endorse another Democratic Party presidential candidate should Sanders not prevail. Though DSA tweeted it would hold firm to that pledge after Sanders dropped out of the race the following March, by that October, DSA leadership had begun circulating a pledge to campaign for Biden in the closing weeks of the election, declaring a Trump loss would be unequivocally better for the working class and for our movement than a Trump re-election. And I mean, I don't know if that's true. It certainly does not seem like it's playing out as being true, especially with this Joe Biden presidency and how terrible it was. But Kit, there is a fight between some of the Democratic socialists, and these are Democratic socialists. So you're talking about, these are the Kyle Kalinskis, who in the crystal balls, the ones who say, you know, all my values, because if you say all your values, there's values that you align with that Marianne doesn't aspire to, that you're not hopping on board to Cornell West. Mm-hmm. Even, and Kyle takes it further, saying that he would still vote for Biden if he wasn't in a safe state. He would vote for Biden. So that's telling you they're picking Joe Biden over Cornell West. So we're seeing that sort of split in the DSA real time. Your last words on the topic before we move on.
If you let Trump live rent free in your head and are easily triggered by what the Republicans are going to do, where have you been these past few years, these past decades? Are you hiding on the rock? Is this your first time? Are you that mentally incompetent and afraid of the Republicans because you let the Democrats bully you? Are you that cowardly that you let another party that will never follow through with its promises abuse you? How can I take you seriously, even as someone to have a conversation with? Not a debate, but even a conversation. Why should I take you seriously when you are so easily frightened and afraid? It's easy to be afraid. I get what Trump does to people. But if you let him control you, and if you let the Democrats control you, then to me, you're not an adult. I will treat you like a moron and that you're special. I'm not calling you a moron and I'm not calling you special. I'm going to treat you like you are one. So until you have the ability to stand up on your own two legs, think for yourself, and not be afraid, then I'll talk to you. But until then, everyone is saying we got to vote for Biden because Trump. What else do you have? Is that all you have? Because I could come up with 100 other things indicating why I'm not going to vote for Biden, why I'm not going to vote for Trump, and why the two-party system is screwing you over. Everybody knows about it. Stop being afraid. My fellow Americans, why are you so afraid? What's going to happen to you? We are truly the children of alcoholics, afraid from the hand that's going to slap us. Stand up and take a punch and punch right goddamn back. You don't owe these politicians anything.